I accidentally discovered why our missions kept getting ambushed by the enemy. I was a specialist in Iraq back in 2007, assigned to a logistics unit outside Ramadi. For 3 months straight, our convoy routes kept getting hit with IEDs and ambushes. Every single time we planned a supply run, the enemy knew exactly where we'd be. We lost 2 guys in August. 3 more got seriously wounded in September. Command was going crazy trying to figure out how our operations were getting compromised. They changed radio frequencies, switched up departure times, even started using fake route plans to throw off potential leaks. Nothing worked. The attacks kept happening. I was a truck driver, so I wasn't involved in the investigations or anything. My job was just hauling supplies from our forward operating base to smaller outposts. But I started noticing something weird about this private in our unit named Austin. Austin was a good kid, 19 years old, from somewhere in Ohio. Real friendly, always eager to help. But every time we'd get back from a convoy, he'd disappear for like 30 minutes before coming to the debrief. One day in late October, I needed to grab some gear from the supply tent right after we returned from a mission. That's when I saw Austin sitting behind the tent on his phone. This wasn't unusual. Lots of guys would call home when they got a chance. But Austin was speaking Arabic. I don't speak Arabic, but I recognized it from working with our interpreters. I froze, listening. He was describing our route, talking about which roads we took, what time we left, how many vehicles. My blood went cold. I quietly backed away and went straight to find our platoon sergeant, a guy named Staff Sergeant Kevin Hayes. "Sergeant, I need to tell you something urgent. It's about Austin." I explained what I'd heard. Hayes didn't say anything for a second, then grabbed his radio and called for the military police. Turns out Austin had a girlfriend back in Ohio who he'd met online. What he didn't know was that she wasn't actually from Ohio. She was part of an insurgent intelligence network operating from Syria. They'd been grooming him for months through fake dating profiles. She'd convinced him they needed to practice Arabic together for when they got married and moved to her family's farm in Michigan. Made it seem romantic and innocent. Austin had no idea he was passing information directly to the enemy. He wasn't a traitor, he was just a lonely kid who got manipulated by someone he thought loved him. The girl had asked him to describe his day-to-day life in detail, said she wanted to feel close to him, understand what he was going through. Austin would tell her everything. Where he went, what routes the convoys took, when they left, how many trucks. She'd say things like, "I'm so worried about you, tell me exactly where you'll be so I can pray for your safety." He thought he was sharing his life with his girlfriend. She was passing everything to insurgent cells who'd set up ambushes. When the MPs arrested him, Austin completely broke down. He genuinely had no idea what he'd done. Kept saying, "But she loves me, we're getting married next year." They showed him proof that the girl didn't exist. The photos she'd sent were stolen from a college student's Facebook page. The phone number was routed through multiple countries. There was no farm in Michigan. Austin got a dishonorable discharge and served 18 months in military prison for compromising operations even though he didn't do it intentionally. The army couldn't prove he knew what he was doing, but he still broke security protocols by discussing mission details with a civilian. After Austin was removed from our unit, the ambushes stopped completely. Our next 4 months in Iraq, not a single convoy got hit. The correlation was impossible to ignore. I think about Austin sometimes. A kid who just wanted someone to love him, who got exploited by people who knew exactly how to manipulate lonely soldiers. 2 of our guys died because he was telling his fake girlfriend about his day. The whole thing changed how our unit handled communication security. They started monitoring everyone's calls more closely, gave us mandatory training about online relationships and social engineering. The scariest part wasn't discovering the leak. It was realizing how easy it was for the enemy to get inside our heads without us even knowing it.